Welcome back to the new Super Mario Bros. Wii Reverse Star Coin Challenge. Let's move on to World 3. This is probably my favorite world in the whole game, so let's see how nice its star coins are. Starting with 3-1, I bypassed the first star coin and penguin suits to keep my propeller in case I needed it. But unfortunately, right after the second coin and checkpoint, there's a one-way pipe for some reason that completely blocks the first half from re-entry. Man, that's just stupid. Also, as a side note, I couldn't die after getting the third coin and respawn at the checkpoint because the game removes your star coins upon death unless you get the checkpoint after you got the coin. So I had to settle for grabbing the second coin and then going back for the penguin and the first coin. I ended up grabbing the third coin as well just because I like it so much. So we have our first 2-1 of the series and our first partial failure for a non-castle level. Thankfully 3-2 didn't have any pipes and it was actually pretty relaxing. I got to immerse myself in the snow world, fight the Ice Bro 3 times, and even grab a star. It's always fun to play these levels in a different way than I would normally. Our first 3-2-1 of World 3. Unfortunately, it would be a while before we got another. 3-3 came next, and this was such a letdown. This level is sectioned into 3 different parts, each containing a star coin, which I think is a cool game design choice, but unfortunately prevents us from doing anything in this challenge. Our first complete failure for a normal level. Up next was the first ghost house of the challenge. Ghost houses love these one-way doors, which are terrible for our purposes. Once again, each star coin is in a different section, so 3 ghost house is another complete failure. Alright, here's where things get really interesting. I had all my footage for this part completed, and I was just about to edit it all together, when I got a comment on the first video of the series. Henderson Jeffrey says, "One tower might actually be possible. There's a pretty difficult glitch with ice flowers and one-way platforms. If you manage to freeze a dry bones and hold it over your head, then drop it on you as you're touching the one-way platform, you'll fall through it and get to the other side." I had never heard of this glitch, so I asked him for video footage. Unfortunately, he didn't have any, but he did give me a tip on how to release the ice block without throwing it. So I went to one tower and got some save states ready. I made it a rule with this series to not use save states at all, even when practicing, to show that if you did it on console, you could have the same results. But with a glitch like this, I really couldn't do it without them, so I amended the rule to only using save states on a separate file. I went to the one tower checkpoint, since it would be useful to clip through these one-way platforms just after the second star coin. I was able to get the ice block to drop, but it was tough to maneuver Mario underneath in time. So I went to the area above the third star coin for more space. And I got it! I gotta tell you, my jaw dropped. I was honestly not expecting it at all to work with this setup.
Oh my god. You've gotta be kidding me.
I tried it again in the places that it would actually be useful, but couldn't quite get it. So I went to the end of 3 tower, another place it would be useful. With all this space, I was able to get underneath the ice block, but it still wasn't working. Then I reviewed my footage. It seemed like when I got the clip, I did a jump, even though I had no clue I had done it. So I tried with the jump, and it worked. Only took a couple of tries too. I was on the wrong side, but it was definitely possible to get the second star coin after I got the third star coin. Now, what about going to the first star coin? Well, there are a couple of rising one-way platforms in the way, which make it harder to get underneath the platform. But you can actually get onto this platform first and get a stationary attempt, so I tried that for a while. But it seems like the glitch doesn't work with these platforms, even though they're also one way. Regardless, there's an area above that you have to clip through, but without any dry bones, it's impassable. Alright, let's get back to the main file and do it without any save states. I had to make it through the auto-scrolling portion first, grab the final star coin, ice the dry bones, which seems placed purely for this challenge, and drop back down. Man, even this part isn't easy. I had to go all the way to Lemmy and die to retain the checkpoint if I failed. After another failure, I made it down for a legitimate attempt. And nope. But just a couple tries later, boom. Just one problem, I was on the wrong side, and the platform disappeared. Luckily, I knew a secret: infinite wall kicks. With Ice Flower, I could shoot an ice ball right after the wall kick, cancel the momentum, do a spin, and gain a little height each time. But I kept struggling with it, and my hands were starting to hurt. And I was running out of time. I had to lock in and execute. Almost there. Why is there a single gray brick blocking the way?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on.
Okay, I had 60 seconds to beat Lemmy. Luckily, he's a super fast boss, and I got it done with 16 seconds to spare. My god, what an experience that was. All just for a partial success, but it was so worth it. Now what about one tower? We'll return to it later, but for now, let's continue to the second half of World 3. 3-4 had no barriers, so the coins were possible to get in reverse. But it actually was pretty difficult, given the moving platforms and annoying fire bros. It took a while, but I was able to grab the final coin, backtrack to underneath this platform, and then to the fire bro and the first coin. I should have killed him earlier, but it was okay. I managed to get him and return without dying for our first success of World 3. The next level was a vertical semi-autoscroller, kind of like 2-6. And just like that level, the autoscroller part is skippable. So I grabbed Propeller, took the cannon to get a save point, got a star to wipe out the overworld bros, and entered the level. I realized to do the skip, I should have the red platforms activated, so I just got the normal exit, pressed the button, and re-entered. There's 2 sections in 3-5. The first part only has 1 coin, and second part has 2 coins and leads to the secret exit. I skipped the first part even though it wasn't necessary. But what was necessary was to skip the moving block in the second part, because once you step on it, the camera locks and you can't go up or down. I wasn't sure if it'd be possible, but I managed to make my way up the level and grab the third star coin and then drop to the second. Woohoo! I had a partial success for 3-5. To get to the castle level, I had to finish the normal exit in 3-4, which is easy with the red platforms. The castle itself, though, was not so easy. The first star coin was on top of these platforms, but soon after there was a one-way pipe leading to the next section, so that coin was not possible. Lucky for me though, coins 2 and 3 were in the same room. Coin 2 is right before the checkpoint, and 3 is in the middle of the moving ice block autoscroller section. Now this wasn't technically an autoscroller, since I could jump off and the camera would follow me. I wanted to just go through the level and beat it without the star coins to enable exit level for my actual attempt. I could definitely tell that it was at least almost possible to get back to the checkpoint after grabbing the third coin, but I would need Propeller. So I beat the castle. So I beat the castle and went to the nearby mushroom house. I basically nailed it, but forgot that the World 3 houses don't have propellers. Oh well, more minis for later. Luckily 3-5 is a pretty quick source of propeller, so I got it from there and went back to the castle. After collecting the third star coin, I needed to get back to the checkpoint. My first attempt got blocked by the ice blocks, so I got Propeller again and gave it another shot. Easy. The blocks even came back just for me. From there, getting the second coin and beating Lemmy was no problem. A partial success on 3 castle. Alright, so World 3 was kind of rough. I hope more is possible in World 4. World 4 is water themed, so I was thinking that the star coins would be more open. Going through 4-1 with Propeller was very weird, but I wanted to keep it in case I needed it for a trick. But the level's pretty easy to navigate, and Penguin makes swimming much better, so after I got the third star coin, I switched to Penguin for star coins 2 and 1, which it definitely helped with. I made it to the flagpole to start with a successful 3-2-1 on 4-1. 4-2 is even easier. The only real obstacle was the fish jumping out, but other than that, nothing made it difficult to backtrack from star coin 3 to 2 to 1. Another success for World 4. 4-3 was a bit trickier. It was a lot like 2-2 actually. The final star coin was in a mini pipe, so I had to navigate the crabs with Mini to reach the pipe. Aw, what a cute sub area. I learned my lesson this time and ditched Mini as soon as I could. This meant I had a damage boost to grab star coin number 2. I then stupidly jumped into the water with the urchins and went too low and died. Luckily I got the checkpoint, so it wasn't hard to get the third coin again and backtrack. The first coin was above this block, so I grabbed it and went to the flagpole. 3 for 3 for 3-2-1s in World 4. On to 4 Tower. Well, look what we have here. Some more one-way platforms. Right above the first star coin is the second star coin, blocked only by this one-way platform. And look what we also have! A singular dry bones, exactly what we need. I was on my practice file here, so I activated a save state and went to the platform. Ooh, this is tight. I tried the ice block clip from every angle, but the ice block kept breaking on the ceiling or the wall. And there was no way to become small Mario in this area, so I was stuck with tall, bulky Mario. The best chance seemed to be just running into the left wall and trying to get underneath the block super quickly. I had a couple close calls, and kept trying and trying, but no luck. If this was possible, I could easily get 2-1. But sadly, I have to declare it impossible for now, but there definitely could be a small trick or adjustment that would make it possible. For the moment, all I could do was advance to the third star coin, which was past a one-way door, and move on to the second half of World 4. You might remember 4 or 5 as the level with the most annoying bloopers ever. It's also interesting because all the star coins are after the checkpoint, so I always think I'm missing one when I get there. In my first attempt, I dodged the bloopers and grabbed the third and second star coins near the end, but then died on my way to the first coin. On my second attempt, I got Fire Flower and made sure to kill the bloopers on my first pass. This made the backtracking much easier, and I was able to grab the first coin and beat the level no problem. 3, 2, 1, complete. 4 Ghost House was very confusing. I spent a while going through each of the exits, but the end result was finding that each star coin is in a different section, separated by one-way doors. The first star coin's at the beginning, the second in the normal exit, and the third in the secret exit. So I got both exits and the third coin, but this level was a failure overall. 4-5 was a lot like 2-5, but much easier. Just needed to eat Lakitu to get in this pipe for the third coin, and the other 2 were easily accessible even without Lakitu. Nice chill 3, 2, 1. 4 Castle was pretty simple. Star coins 1 and 2 are in the second room, but coin 3 is in a later room, separated by one-way doors. So all I could do was get 2 and 1 and beat Wendy. For a castle level, a 2-1 partial success definitely isn't bad. Before we're done with World 4, we get to play an airship level. 4 Airship is one of my favorite levels, but I knew that backtracking would get tricky with all these obstacles. I grabbed Star Coin 3 using these bombs, then made my way to Star Coin 2 in the pipe. Star Coin 1 was hanging out at the beginning, so I grabbed that and managed to make it to the Bowser Jr. fight with only 1 health left. Thankfully, I beat him without getting hit by fire, and we're done! World 4 was complete, and what a good experience it was compared to World 3. Alright, so what about 1 tower? Well, I went back to the checkpoint area and tried again. It was precise, but I managed to clip into the second star coin from above.
Oh, dude, let's go,
And also into the checkpoint area from the final area using this block.
Oh my god, dude, let's go.
These were so cool to pull off. So does this mean I could get a 3-2 on this level? Well, I made a disappointing observation. Coming from above, there are no dry bones in the checkpoint area to use. Before, I was using one from the area right below, so I could do 1 clip from the third star coin area, but after that I was stuck. How about a 2-1 instead? Well, to do that, I had to clip on the left side of the checkpoint area. There's not enough room with Big Mario, but Small Mario came very, very close to getting it to work. Unfortunately, even if I was able to get this to work, there's no way for it to all come together properly. I can only bring a dry bones through the left side, but I need to go through the right side to actually collect the second star coin before I do the glitch. And there's a one-way platform just beneath the second coin, so I can't backtrack from there. So even though I could do all the clips individually, 1 tower still remained a complete failure. Bummer. My totals for Worlds 3 and 4 were 6 successes, 4 partial successes, and 4 total failures, for an overall score of 8 out of 14. A lower success rate than last time, but we had a bunch of super interesting partial successes, so Worlds 3 and 4 ended up being a ton of fun. And special shout out to Henderson Jeffrey for giving me the glitch that allowed 3 Tower to be partially conquered, and likely some more levels in the future. That's precisely the reason I'm doing this series in parts, because I'm sure there's tons of obscure Marbles Wii knowledge that YouTube comments can help you out with. Thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to World 5.